Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are back here in BeamNG Monster Jam. As said, there is another show today. We did get a show for stadiums in Glendale, Arizona just earlier today, but guess what? The series is back. We have 8 more drivers who are all trying to find their way into the biggest floor in all of monster trucks, the Monster Jam World Finals. Again, we have 8 drivers tonight trying to find their way to the biggest event in all of the sport. They're going to compete in 3 competitions tonight. The Sky Wheelies competition, the Skills Challenge, and ultimately Freestyle, in an attempt to get the most points and make it out to the Monster Jam World Finals. Now we're going to get straight into the action here. So let's read out your lineup here. We have Mikayla, Tulachka, and Megalodon, Brandan, Tulachka, and Just Get Her Done second generation, Berto, Trevino, and Monster Mutt, Rottweiler, Chad, Tingler, driving the Overboard, Tony Ochs driving the ThunderROARus, Brianna Mahon driving the Scooby-Doo, Jamie Sullivan driving the Monster Mutt Dalmatian, and Weston Anderson driving the Gravedigger. Well, without any more delay, let's get straight into the action tonight. 3 competitions to go, all out here in Sacramento with this awesome lineup. And the top 2 placing drivers from tonight's event will find their way to the Monster Jam World Finals. And let's get straight into the action tonight. Give us just 1 second here as we get something worked out. And your first competitor in the meantime that we will be seeing is Mikayla Tulachka driving the Megalodon. Hold on, fans, give us just 1 second here. We are facing some technical problems behind the scenes. Nothing too big. We're going to get everything working as intended for Mikayla here. Struggling to get that truck. Looks like maybe not getting enough power to the wheels, but that is all going to be solved right now. Don't worry, fans. The action is not going anywhere. Mikayla Tulachka is ready to go. There's some slight struggles there, but everything's all sorted out. Ready to go here for the Megalodon. Again, this is the Sky Wheelies competition. And Mikayla Tulachka. I know it's her brother driving Just Get Her Done, but I think she got it done pretty well out here in the Sky Wheelies competition. A great way to kick off the action here in Sacramento. Sorry. Got a little tactor there. A great way to kick off the action here in Sacramento by Mikayla Tulachka and the Megalodon. Scores are now locked here in the Sky Wheelies competition, and the score for Mikayla Tulachka is an 8.272. You know, an 8.272 kicking off a competition is not a very easy score to beat, so that's a pretty good start there by Mikayla Tulachka, and honestly a pretty great performance there overall here in the Sky Wheelie contest. Still 7 more competitors to go here in this first competition, fans. Don't go anywhere. All the action is still to come. Coming up next here, driving with the Garners. This is a veteran of Monster with a very big history. It's Tingler Overboard. Tingler doing his best to show off some vertical movement here tonight with that Sky Wheelie as he sets that back down. That is your second competitor here in the Sky Wheelies contest. And ladies and gentlemen, your scores are locked, and your score tonight for Chad Tingler and the Overboard, a 7.743. 7.743, not enough for that top spot. you know what? That top spot, I think it's going to be holding out there for a while because it's not easy to, you know, beat a score in the 8s. So, I mean, these drivers can really try as hard as they want to overtake that score, but it's not going to be easy. And they're going to have to try and get a little creative here, if possible, in the Sky Wheelies competition. Coming up next, Berto, Trevino, Monster Mutt, Rottweiler. Coming out here for the team, the only driver representing here in this event. And that is your Sky Wheelie attempts there for Berto, Trevino. And the Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Trying to get a good Sky Wheelie, and not the most vertical we've seen all night. Or should I say all afternoon. He did try his hardest there. Your scores are locked, and your score tonight for Berto, Trevino and the Monster Mutt Rottweiler is a 5.702. 5.702, not enough for that top spot. You know what? We're almost halfway done with this first competition, but when it really gets fun is when we start to get into the ladder competitions, especially once we're into freestyle. So don't go anywhere. The action still going to keep getting better as the night goes on. But right now we're in the Sky Wheelies competition, and coming up next is this guy right here. How about Brandan Tulachka? Just get her done, second generation. Brandan Tulachka here, brother to Mikayla Tulachka, who is the current leader in this competition. So, hey, maybe he'll have some kind of upper hand advantage by that. We'll see. She's preparing for this first hit here. Or should I say the only hit here in the Sky Wheelies competition. A pretty solid hit there for Brandan Tulachka. Just get her done, second generation. Scores now going to be locked for Brandan Tulachka. Your score for Just Get Her Done in 8.077. That's enough for second place. Still in the lead is Mikayla Tulachka and the Megalodon. Well, you know what? That's halfway down. We still have half the competitors left to go here. And this is when things start to get fun because these are all your best competitors. The later they go up, there's a reason, because when you're going up later in this competition, it's because you did good in the past, and once your name's out there, you're going to start going out later in the competitions because you're a big deal now. And coming up next, it's Jamie Sullivan, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. This is only her second year behind the wheel, and she is looking to find her way to the Monster Jam World Finals here at BeamNG. This is the kickoff for her with the Sky Wheelies competition. Oh, she's gonna walk it a little bit there for the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. How about that for Jamie Sullivan and the Monster Mutt Dalmatian? Trying to go home with a win here tonight with that little bit of a walk there on that Sky Wheelie. And your scores are locked, ladies and gentlemen. Your score for Jamie Sullivan is a 9.260. Your new leader here in Sky Wheelies is Jamie Sullivan. Well, you know what? Mikayla did lead for a while. We do have a new leader now, but I mean, we'll see how long that lasts. With the competitors out here could really go any which way, because we still have 3 competitors left to go, and they're all ready to go try and find their way to the Monster Jam World Finals. And coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, behind the wheel of the ThunderROARus, it's Tony Ochs. The apex predator of Monster Jam, as they call it. Tony Ochs gets to pilot that awesome machine here. Ochs taking it a bit sideways there in the ThunderROARus. Here in the skills challenge, what a way to do it. He is looking for that win, he's looking for some points, and he's looking for an invite to the Monster Jam World Finals. And those scores are locked. Your score tonight for Tony Ochs and the ThunderROARus at 9.331. That is your new leader in the Sky Wheelies competition. Well, Sky Wheelies, we've seen some pretty vertical hits so far, and even a little bit of ragged edge action like we just saw there from Tony Ochs. So, cool action already, and this is debatably the least exciting competition we'll see, so definitely don't go anywhere. Monster Jam is getting ramped up as the action continues to become more and more awesome tonight. And coming up next, behind the wheel of the Scooby-Doo, it's time for Brianna Mahon, the princess of fun. Well, we've seen where the bar was set by Tony Ochs and Jamie and Sullivan. Now it's Brianna's turn to try and follow that up. Oh, and follow that up she did. Brianna Mahon showing off some talent there. As she gets straight vertical in that sky wheel, you can see trying to keep that truck on all fours as well coming down, but I mean she just could not. That truck was all the way vertical out there. And those scores are locked for Brianna Mahon, ladies and gentlemen. Your score for the Scooby-Doo is a 9.227. Only enough for third place right now, unfortunately. And I could have seen that taking the lead, but the scores did not agree with that tonight. And she is only in third place. And I'm sure Brianna wanted to place a little higher than that. Fortunately, she couldn't here tonight, but you know what? She's going to be back in the following competitions to try and get those points she needs for that World Finals invite. And ladies and gentlemen, only one more competitor remains here in Sacramento for the Sky Wheelies competition. It's Weston Anderson, Well, Weston is 3-0 on grabbing Arena Series Championship. So Weston is definitely no stranger to what he's doing out here. And that might work in his favor. See what he can line up for here. Oh, Weston trying to make things work. I'm not too sure if that's quite what he was going for. He did get that nice sky wheelie, but it wasn't the highest up we've seen, and it didn't really get a crazy crash like we've been used to seeing here. So we'll see how that counts in for Weston Anderson. Scores are now locked, ladies and gentlemen, and your score for Weston Anderson and the Gravedigger, an 8.502. Only enough for fourth place right now tonight. Definitely not what Weston was wanting to hear here in the Sky Wheelie competition. On that, ladies and gentlemen, the Sky Wheelie competition is officially wrapped up. Currently, your leader in points tonight is Tony Ochs. He has 7 points right now. Jamie Sullivan is in second. She has 7 points. Brianna Mahon is in third. She has 6 points. Weston Anderson is in fourth. He has 5 points. Well, that was a pretty interesting first competition. A little more action than you'd maybe expect, especially looking at Brianna and kind of Tony as well. But on that note, it is officially time to get into your next competition. This is the Great Clip Skill Challenge. This competition, a lot of fans quite like this competition. It's always something fun. There's always something new happening in this competition here. So a lot of fans have fun seeing how technical each of these different drivers can get out here on this Monster Jam track. On that note, coming up next, it's time to get loud. Mikayla, she looks pretty good there in Sky Wheelies. Ultimately, it would only end up being 5th place, I believe, but hey, it's still pretty decent overall. Now she has her chance to get herself known some more here in the Great Skills Challenge. Mikayla, Tulachka trying to get things done here in the Megalodon. Not quite what she was looking for there. Looks like maybe trying to give it a little bit of a popper, but wasn't really agreeing with her. She got one more hit left to go. And Mikayla, Tulachka, and the Megalodon setting it down here tonight. And the Great Clip Skills Challenge trying to get some combos going there. As that wraps up the action for Mikayla, Tulachka, and the Megalodon. Scores are now locked, ladies and gentlemen, and your score for Mikayla, Tulachka, and the Megalodon, a 6.227. Not, well, that is enough for the top spot, because that is your first competitor, but I'm not sure if that's going to be able to hold up here as the night goes on, especially in such an amazing field of drivers. Well, again, Mikayla trying her hardest out there. I'm not too sure if she got everything she was looking for here. She's going to be back in Freestyle to try and get some redemption. Coming up next, it's done. Get loud. It's Berto, Trevino, Monster, Mutt, Rottweiler. Off here, maybe looking for the right safety. There's the IMUs here. Oh! Oh, Berto Trevino, he had the chance to save it as well. He really had that opportunity to save it, but he let off. He just didn't give it the gas it needed. And that truck ends up on the lid. And scores are now in for Berto Trevino. Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Your score for the Monster Mutt Rottweiler is a 4.285. Not enough for the top spot. Doing a tough break there for Berto Trevino, not quite getting everything he was looking for here in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. He'll be back for Freestyle. One more shot. And ladies and gentlemen, coming up next tonight, behind the wheel of the overboard, Monster Jam veteran, this is Tingler. Tingler in the overboard, trying to make things happen, going for a moonwalk. Unfortunately, not able to get what he was looking for right there. One more attempt to go. Tingler, take a look at the end to that attempt right there. He tries to get it balanced, then he tries to pull off a save, and that truck just went flying through the air. Ultimately, ends up on the lid. Chad Tingler trying to get things done tonight in the overboard. What a crazy crash there for Chad Tingler, ladies and gentlemen. And your scores are locked. Your score for Chad Tingler and the overboard is a 6.519. That is your new leader tonight in the Great Clips Skills Challenge. Well, Chad Tingler trying to do his best here to do what he has to, as he's looking to get that World Finals invite. It would be his first in many, many years. He wants to try and get that invite. He's going to have to try his hardest in freestyle to make up for some lost points, and I'm not sure if it's going to be possible or not. On that note, we're going to get straight into your next competitor here in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. Got 5th or 6th place out in the Sky Wheelie competition. Now out here in the Skills Challenge, trying to make a name for himself. Brandan Tulachka, just get her done, 2nd generation. I was trying to make up for his losses earlier tonight, so we'll see what he can do about that. Brandan Tulachka with the best move of the night so far, at least the most controlled move of the night so far. He takes it on that moonwalk right there. One more hit attempt left to go. Oh, looks like Brandan Tulachka trying to go for a bicycle combo right there. Unfortunately, that truck is going to end up on the lid. He cannot save it. And that wraps things up tonight for Brandan Tulachka and Just Get Her Done 2nd generation. Scores are locked, ladies and gentlemen. Your score for Brandan Tulachka is a 7.305. Your new leader here in the Skills Challenge, but not everything he was looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, still half the drivers left to go here in the competition, as we are on route to crown 2 drivers and give them their bids to the first ever BeamNG Monster Jam World Finals here on Monster Jam Jackmate. We got 4 more competitors to go. Coming up next, we have Jamie Sullivan, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Jamie's really looking to get that invite. You have to do everything in her power to try and get it. Trying to moonwalk it there on that first hit. He's got 1 more attempt left to go. See what she's going for right here. Looks like she might be trying to set something up. Oh, and a tough break for Jamie Sullivan in the Monster Mutt Dalmatian here in the Great Clips Skills Challenge. A tough break there for Jamie Sullivan, trying to make things work here in the Skills Challenge. And your scores are now locked for Jamie Sullivan and the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And your score for Jamie Sullivan is in 8.935. That is your new leader tonight in the Great Clips Skills Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, only 3 competitors left to go, and then we're going to be in everybody's favorite competition, Monster Jam Freestyle. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get loud. It's Brianna Mahon, the Princess of Carnage, Scooby-Doo. Looking to see what she can accomplish here, try and get that bid to the World Finals. Oh! Take a look at the move there for Brianna Mahon and the Scooby-Doo as she pulls out that amazing one tire save, combos it back up onto the pod. The clock, sorry, well there is no clock, but that run has been paused there for Brianna Mahon. Officials are going to make sure everything's intact after that crazy move from Brianna Mahon. See if she has the ability to refire that Monster Jam truck. Ladies and gentlemen, Brianna Mahon, she is refired tonight. She has one more hit to go. Brianna Mahon not settling for anything tonight. Take a look at that incredible save for Brianna Mahon and the Scooby-Doo. She's not letting anything stop her. She is showing why she is the Princess of Carnage here in Sacramento. 2 incredible saves for Brianna Mahon and the Scooby-Doo. And ladies and gentlemen, your scores are now locked, and your score for Brianna Mahon and the Scooby-Doo is a 9.749, an absolutely massive score tonight for Brianna Mahon and Scooby-Doo. You know she has got to be pumped up about that. That is a huge, huge score for Brianna Mahon. And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, there are only 2 competitors left to go here in the Great Flip Skills Challenge as they get ready to hit the track and try and do their best to get their automatic bid to BeamNG Monster Jam World Finals 1. Coming up next is the Apex Predator of Monster Jam. Take a look at Tony Ochs, ThunderROARus. Oh, Tony Ochs and the ThunderROARus. Take a look as he pulls out the save out there and that Monster Jam truck. That is why he is the Apex Predator of Monster Jam. Refired Tony Ochs is ready to go tonight. And the ThunderROARus now going to have to get that truck turned back around. He has one more attempt to go. Well, Tony Ochs, he saw what he had to follow up from Brianna Mahon, and I think he was absolutely ready to do it. He's got one more hit to go. He is handling that truck perfectly. Take a look at that balance. And Tony Ochs, he is living with the combos right now. He is keeping that truck on the BeamNG tires, whether it's the front 2 or the rear 2. And that is going to wrap up that run from Tony Ochs and the ThunderROARus. Tony Ochs doing everything he possibly can tonight, trying to show his best skills. And ladies and gentlemen, those scores are locked. Your score for Tony Ochs and the ThunderROARus is a 9.836. Another massive score. Tony Ochs is your new leader in the Great Clips Skills Challenge tonight. While the scores are like, the scores are massive, that's one thing. But I think it's especially coming down to the incredible performance every last one of these drivers are throwing down right now. Insane after insane after insane. The competition is ramped up to the max right now, and there's only one competitor left to go before he takes Freestyle. And coming up last here in the Skills Challenge, last but anything but least, it's Weston Anderson, Gravedigger. Weston, he is keeping that truck balanced right now. He's living on those rear two big easy tires, now taking it. Sorry, he was living on the front two big easy tires, then he takes it onto the rear. He's back on the front end. Weston Anderson and the Gravedigger comboing things up perfectly there for that first hit. One hit left to go. Weston, you know he wants to make it out to the World Finals, and he's going to have to really start pushing right now. Because Tony Ochs and Brianna Mahon, and even kind of Jamie Sullivan, are on cloud 9 is how well this event's going for them. Weston's got to try to join him up there. And he's going for something a little different here. Oh! Weston Anderson in the Gravedigger. Take a look at the move for Weston Anderson. He knew exactly what he was going to have to do tonight if he wanted to be able to take the lead away, or at least get those points he was needing. And that is exactly what he does. Weston Anderson with the moon flip in an arena. I mean, this is what fans mean when they say Weston. There's nothing Weston isn't capable of doing. That was absolutely incredible for Weston Anderson in the Gravedigger. The scores are now locked for Weston Anderson in the Gravedigger. Your score for Weston Anderson is a 9.782. That is not enough for that top spot, but it is enough to get him second place right now in the Great Clips Skills Challenge tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does officially wrap up the Great Clips Skills Challenge. And one thing is true right now, and that is that Tony Ochs is currently on course to full sweep the whole event if he can keep the momentum up by the time Monster Jam Freestyle rolls around. Weston is doing everything he can to try and get that bid. So is Brianna and Jamie, not too far behind. The competition is tight right now, and all these competitors are doing everything in their power to try and make it to World Finals 1 here in BeamNG Drive. Guess what, fans? We still have Monster Jam Freestyle to go. Well, if one thing is absolutely for certain right now, it is that all these competitors are doing everything they can to go home with that invite, especially those final four that we saw there in the Great Clips Skills Challenge. All these drivers really wanted to make it out to the World Finals, and they're really going to be pushing to try and get that done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is officially time to get your next competition, your third and final competition, Monster Jam Freestyle. And coming up first here in Freestyle, behind the wheel of the Monster Mutt Rottweiler, let's get loud, representing Team Throttle Monster, Berto Trevino, Monster Mutt Rottweiler. All competitors tonight have 75 seconds on the clock while this afternoon, should I say, try and get that freestyle win from the first for Trevino. Just takes off there in sky wheelie action. Looks like he might be trying to combo this puppy up right now. Not able to do it. On the mud around. Oh, there's the save for Trevino. That's the save he was needing back in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. If he takes it through that turn, he gets that save like it's nothing. Berto, he has had incredible rookie season this year with Monster Jam. I mean, maybe not taking home very many wins, but he is absolutely getting some incredible moments all season long. Now 10 seconds still remain here for the Rottweiler. Time now expires for Berto and the monster Mutt Rottweiler. What an incredible freestyle run we just saw for Berto Trevino. He did everything he could, trying to secure some good points there. And to get off with that incredible sky wheelie into his save, and the other incredible save just around 20 seconds into the run. And ladies and gentlemen, these scores are locked. Your score for Berto Trevino and the Monster Mutt Rottweiler is a 7.572, 7.572. A pretty good score kicking off freestyle tonight. As Berto is trying to get to the World Finals, his first ever in his rookie season of Monster Jam. We'll see how long that score is able to hold up for. As we get into your next competitor, Monster Jam veteran to the sport. It's time to get loud. This is Chad Tingler, Overboard. Chad Tingler has taken home several freestyle wins this year. Let's see if he can do that again here in the Overboard. Oh no! Fans, we have something just went down here. Ladies and gentlemen, Chad Tingler not going to be going home with a score tonight. Not what we were wanting to see. He is going to be disqualified from tonight's show, unfortunately, and that officially means that ends things out there for Chad Tingler in the Overboard. Well, you know, you gotta keep your head up in this competition, and what Chad Tingler just did there is not something that we like to encourage here in Monster Jam. Unfortunately, that does mean that he is going to be out of tonight's event, which that was the end moment, but none of the points he earned tonight are going to be counted, and he is not going to be counted in as a shot to being at the World Finals. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we are going to get straight into your next competitor. Coming out here in the Megalodon, it's Mikayla Tulachka. Seconds. Go here and she has got the time underway. 75 seconds. nice so far for Mikayla Tulachka right there. We are trying to build up some momentum here. This something is going. Oh my goodness! Can she set this down? Oh! And that crash right there ends the Monster Jam freestyle run. Tough break for Mikayla Tulachka and the Megalodon. And that is not what she was looking for tonight, fans. But hey, that was a pretty cool run. Scores are now locked. And your score tonight for Mikayla Tulachka and the Megalodon is a 7.915. Your new leader here in freestyle, Mikayla Tulachka and the Megalodon. Well, you know what? Berto had a great freestyle run, so I guess maybe just that crash at the end was what counted there for Mikayla, especially to get her that new lead in freestyle. And coming up next tonight in freestyle, it's time to get loud. This is Brandan Tulachka, Just Get Her Done, second generation. He's coming out here. He's got a vengeance. He wants to go to the Monster Jam World Finals. And this is his chance to get his name stated here. To get a shot at an invitation. Gotta work on his flow right now. Having a little bit of difficulty getting it. But looks like he's starting to find a little bit of a groove. Brandan Tulachka, he sets things back down here in Monster Jam Freestyle. He is not settling for anything tonight. He is looking for that freestyle win. See where he's headed right now. Oh, what a crazy way to end out the freestyle run. You see Brandan Tulachka trying to get it into a little bit of a bicycle combo out there. Unfortunately, not able to get everything he was looking for as that truck ends up on the lid. But hey, still a pretty cool way to end out the freestyle run tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, your scores are locked. Your score tonight for Brandan Tulachka, Just Get Her Done 2, is an 8.834. Your new leader tonight in freestyle, Brandan Tulachka, Just Get Her Done. Well, you know what? A great score there for Brandan, for sure. That is your new leader, and that's exactly what any driver wants to hear when they're out there on the track. So that is great news there for Brandan Tulachka, but guess what? We still have 4 more competitors to go, all with the same common goal, to take Brandan Tulachka out of that top spot. Well, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, let's get loud. It's time for Jamie Sullivan on the Dalmatian. Now for Jamie Sullivan, wins that top spot and finds her way to the Monster Jam World Finals. Oh, a little bit twisted there, but she's getting a big turn back around. Ready to go tonight. So far, it's been a pretty good show for Jamie, but she is going to have to pick it up a bit here. Whoa, that just sounded like It was really getting pushed to the limits right there. Definitely transition. There we go, Jamie Sullivan. Take a look at the huge air. She is going head over heels. Hold on, man. Whoa! Call it a walk the dog. Jamie Sullivan gets a little bit of a twist there on that one rear tire as she saves it on the endo. Oh, she might be lining up for that Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. And ladies and gentlemen, she nails that Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp right as time expires. What a freestyle run tonight for Jamie Sullivan and the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. She was not going to let anything stop her here in BKT Freestyle. She wants to go to the World Finals, and she was ready to do anything it took to get there. What a freestyle for Jamie Sullivan. You know she's pumped up about that one. And those scores are now locked, ladies and gentlemen. Your scores for Jamie Sullivan and the Monster Mutt Dalmatian is a 9.730. That is your new score to beat here in Freestyle tonight. Well, Jamie Sullivan certainly not sleeping in this competition at all. She wants to go home with a win, and she was definitely ready to do that. There's still 3 competitors still trying to outdo her right there, and also trying to make it to the World Finals, but we'll have to see if they have what it takes over what we just saw for Jamie Sullivan. Well, coming up next is the Princess of Carnage, Brianna, Mahon, and Scooby-Doo, and if anyone had an incredible performance in the field challenge earlier tonight, it was this driver right here, Brianna Mahon. She is looking for a freestyle tonight. Oh, a little claustrophobic out there. Trying to jump on skate hard here in freestyle. Brianna Mahon almost goes over, just taking that 15 turn. She gets a nice little bit of a save. Oh my goodness. I don't know what went wrong there at the end of the freestyle run for Brianna Mahon, but I guess she just accelerated the wrong way, and that truck ends up on the lid. And that's going to wrap up the freestyle, ladies and gentlemen. Those scores are locked. And your score for Brianna Mahon and the Scooby-Doo is a 5.284. Not enough to get things done here in freestyle. Again, that is a very tough break for Brianna Mahon. I mean, she was having such an incredible night tonight, and it was really looking like things were going to go her way, but the cars all fell in the wrong direction, and unfortunately, she gets the new lowest score of the night here in freestyle. And coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, and the ThunderROARus, it's time to get loud. This is Berto. Getting ready here for the first hit. Getting the fans on their feet right now. He's getting ready to kick off this freestyle run. And that incredible sky really kicking things off. Oh my goodness. Whoa! Take a look at the level of awareness he needed to be able to make that happen. Perfectly avoid the wall and get that insane save right off of it. That was absolutely incredible as Tony Ochs lines up for the Morgan and Morgan backflip ramp. What was that ending to the freestyle run? I don't know quite what he was going for there, as he just took it to the side of the backflip ramp and almost did a second one in a way. Tony Ochs got a little interesting there to end out that freestyle run. You know what, though? He was definitely ready to go, especially after that save, and he pulls out that backflip. And the scores are locked, ladies and gentlemen. Your score tonight for Tony Ochs and the ThunderROARus is and 9.825. Tony Ochs is your new leader tonight in Monster Jam BKT Freestyle. Well, I was saying earlier, Tony Ochs was on course to just going out there and clean sweeping the whole show. And after a run like that, it very well may be possible. The only driver that could possibly stop it is this next competitor coming up, who is also going to be very competitive as he tries to find his way out to the Monster Jam World Final. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now's the time to get loud, because this is the black and green wrecking machine, ladies and gentlemen. Straight out of Kill Devil Hills, it's Weston Anderson, Grave Digger. Oh, Weston Anderson, he is showing off some incredible skill out there in the Grave Digger. Uh-oh. Oh! Weston Anderson, there's nothing that Weston is afraid of. I think, as the commentator, I was more afraid of what was going to happen than Weston himself was. Because, I mean, Weston will do anything, and Weston will make it look like he did that intentionally. Whoa! He's even going to turn it into a little bit of a wheelie right there. Weston Anderson in the Grave Digger. He's lining up for the Morgan and Morgan backflip ramp. Oh, and a tough break tonight for Weston Anderson, trying to pull out the save off of that backflip. Not able to do it tonight, but he threw down right there in freestyle, looking to end things off on all fours. Unfortunately, he could not do that here, as that backflip sends him onto the lid. Weston Anderson trying his hardest here. Could have saved it, I think, but just ran out of room here in Sacramento. And ladies and gentlemen, your scores are locked. Your score for Weston Anderson and the Grave Digger is a 9.528. Not going to be enough for that top spot here tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the action tonight. But don't go anywhere, because we are not done quite yet. Although that is the end of all the driving, we still have to determine here what two drivers are going home with automatic invites to the first ever BeamNG Monster Jam World Final. So give us just 1 second here as we try and find out who that will be. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the action is over, but don't go anywhere. We are just getting those scores counted up. As we are set to determine which drivers are going to be making it to the big floor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have counted up the points tonight, and your two drivers have been determined for their automatic invites to the BeamNG Monster Jam World Finals. With the scores all counted up, your drivers getting automatic invites to the first ever Monster Jam Jackinator BeamNG World Finals are Tony Ochs and ThunderROARus and Jamie Sullivan of the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. They will be receiving those automatic invites out to the BeamNG Monster Jam World Finals. Huge congratulations to those two drivers. Now, of course, Weston, Anderson, and Brianna Mahon also throwing down tonight, but unfortunately they did not score high enough to automatically advance. Now, they may still have a chance later to try and get some revenge, or maybe just get that invite itself, but as of now, Jamie Sullivan and Tony Ochs are going to be going out to the World Finals. And on that note, Tony Ochs also completely clean sweeps tonight's event. So a special little bit there for Tony Ochs and the ThunderROARus. But ladies and gentlemen, that does do it. So, thank you all fans for coming out here tonight and enjoying the action. That is all we have here in Sacramento. Sorry, this afternoon, I should say. That is all we have here in Sacramento. It's been a fun past hour. We now know two more drivers, Tony Ochs and Jamie Sullivan, will be headed to the BeamNG Monster Jam World Finals. Thank you guys.